Hello? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Hello, welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I'm your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background in aliens, ghosts, robots, and creatures. And today's movie is M3GAN 2023, directed and produced by Gerald Johnstone and James Wan. Today's theme is going to be Ghost in the Machine. It's an artificial intelligence movie. I streamed it online for $19.99. It was still in the theaters, so it still, carried a pretty hefty price tag. I thought it was worth it. That's what, I wanted to see it. I didn't want to go to the theater to see it. I don't think it was theater worthy. That was my opinion. So I just rented it, but I did pay top dollar for it. Okay, so let's just get into it. What are some of the narrative predictions? I predicted when the first movie first started is that the girl would use that puppet bot to defeat M3GAN when it came down to it, because just by the nature of the story. So that was my narrative plot prediction. What genre is it? It's definitely cyber. It's not cyber horror. It's like a cyber thriller. Like, it has some heart. They put some thought into this movie. It's done well. But the genre is definitely cyber. The cinematography. It's just your regular live action movie. It wasn't 3D. It wasn't virtual reality. It's just your run of the mill live action movie. Set design. The practical effects were on point. Like, I didn't notice any CGI. I'm sure they used some CGI, but I didn't notice. Everything seemed real practical. Like, the doll herself was played by an actual actor wearing a mask. So everything was really, really practical. I like that. I like that about this movie. What plot convictions did I notice in the film? Let me see here. Using AI as a crutch for child development. I think that was really touched upon in the artificial movie Steven Spielberg. I'm gonna have to, when you create a robot to watch over your child. I think that was touched in that one, and it, falls in love with the child, or that's its programming is to love and protect the child forever. So that's kind of where the angle this movie is coming from. That's what at least that's the major plot convention I noticed in the movie. How were the characters? Heroes, villains, damsels in distress, sidekick, weapons, mode of transportations, and locality. All of those don't really apply in this movie. So let's just talk about the characters. The hero in it. And I'm going to give the hero space to Katie. I think that's how they say their name, Katie. It's spelled Caddy for some reason, but I think it's Katie. She is an orphan who lost her parents in a car accident. She gets placed in her auntie's care, who has no children, who's a career-oriented woman. I think she's in a relationship, I'm not really sure, but she's not ready to take care of a 8-year-old child. So that's how we begin. So she creates this android and pairs it to her niece, and that's kind of where our story goes. And that's our hero's perspective. So she's an orphan child. She's staying at her auntie's house, and she's really alone. She has no brothers, no sisters. She's going to a new town, new friends, and all of that. So. The villain. Okay, so they're trying to cast M3GAN as the villain of the story, and I don't really know how I feel about that, because she's just doing what she was programmed to do, and that doesn't really rise to the level of malicious intent. Okay, so I really don't consider her a villain. She's more of the leader on the opposing team, as like somebody who is malicious, that you need to stop. Anyway, so she's an AI that becomes the parental guardian of Katie, basically. The auntie just lets Megan take care of her and not her. So the kid becomes attached to Megan, and Megan is paired to her, so she's already attached. So Megan will kill anything that gets in her relationship, in the relay of her relationship with Katie, or anything that harms Katie. And once again, she was programmed to do that. Okay, but there were no parameters, there were no blocks on her programming when, she paired her to Katie and told her to do that. So, like, she'll kill anybody who threatens or harms her. She has no problem doing that. And that's really the problem of the creator. They didn't put enough foresight and thinking about where this thing could go wrong. I have written down here the paperclip problem. That's kind of when you create one AI to the paperclip problem is when you create a robot to make paperclips. Okay, and it's really, really good, but it's an artificial intelligence. It's intelligent. Okay, so before you delete the program, because it's making too many paperclips, okay, it makes a copy of itself and starts making more paperclips somewhere else. And you don't notice that until it starts consuming natural resources making paperclips, right? So the threat comes from it doing its job too well, okay, and now it's consuming everything to make these stupid paperclips. And so that's the paperclip problem. That kind of does apply to Megan in the sense that you told her to protect this child at any means necessary, and that's what it did, and that's what it's going to keep doing, okay, whether you try to delete it or not. And so it's a pretty precarious plot point towards the end of how they're gonna make a sequel and where they're gonna go with that. So like I said, I'm pretty torn between making her the villain. Like, clearly that's where the story is going, that she's the villain, but I don't really see her that way. Damsel in distress, I really didn't apply to this, unless you want to say Katie is the damsel in distress, but the story really revolves around her. The sidekick, I'm gonna have to go with the internet as Megan's sidekick. She was able to do a lot of things because she had internet access, and she was able to level up. So because of the internet, she was able to download more information from the internet and then act accordingly on that new information. She's able to download information, control vehicles, and just control computer spaces, period. Like, control elevators, control temperature, like all of that, because she's connected to the internet. Okay, weapons. She used, a power hose, blades. She used the computer environment around her in pretty creative ways. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're pretty good ones. You could tell that they're trying to keep it PG-13, so before it got too bloody, the camera panned away. Okay, so whatever. I was looking for another Chucky movie. That's not really what I got. Mode of transportation. I did like the fact when she was leaving the house or the facility, that she jumped into that Tesla type car and was able to drive it. And then one of the people say, well, she can't even look over the steering wheel. And my response is like, she's not driving the car. She just jumped into it and plugged into the GPS and programmed the car to go where she wants to. She's not driving the car. She doesn't need a seat. Okay, the car's a robot. Acting was good. Point number 8. How was the acting? Acting was good. It was not over the top. People say it was a comedy and it was kind of cheeky. It only gets cheeky when they start singing. And it didn't take me out of the movie. Like, it still fit. in the movie. Like, I giggle, it's funny, but it's not a comedy by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's not a funny movie. I don't even think it's really cheeky. Like, it had its moments, as should any horror movie, But I liked it. It's, I thought the acting was great. Everything pulled it apart. Point number 9. What is point number 9? What is the cultural impact of the movie? Did it break any new ground? Not really. It basically talks about the lessons of the dangers of artificial intelligence, letting the TV, letting the cell phone, letting the laptop basically raise your children. Talked about that. And I could see where it could stunt human growth. And so I understand the points that they're trying to make in the movie. Rating system. Is it theater worthy? Yes and no. I'm gonna say no, because it's not I don't want to say big budget, spectacular, but that's not only why you should go see a movie at a theater too. Okay, but it's a slower family-tisk movie that doesn't really require you to go see it in a theater. I would just rent it. Okay, would I buy it on Blu-ray? Yes. And I hope the cultural impact of this movie is they release a rated R version with the PG-13 version. I don't think they've ever done that with a movie. I could be wrong, but I can't think of a movie where they had two versions released. They may have went back and released the director's cut, but clearly they were holding back on this movie. Okay, and they wanted to get more butts in the seats, so they kept it at a PG-13 rating. Where if they would have went R, man, they would have killed it. They would have killed this movie. Anyways, okay, so yeah, I would definitely buy it on Blu-ray. I streamed it, and I think that's it. Okay, so summary and recommendations. Like I said, it's another Chucky remake movie, but this one's done right. Yeah, it's done right. Hopefully they release a rated R version of the movie. I plan on buying it on Blu-ray, and Atomicon Rex does recommend you buy it on Blu-ray. So, okay, well, that's my movie review and analysis for M3GAN 2023. I'm out. Have a good day. Bye-bye.